Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 20 of This Week in History. I'm Alexandra Schneider. Thanks again for tuning in. This week we're going to start off with some unfortunately familiar news from 1918 when orders came through placing the Great Lakes Training Station under indefinite quarantine in an attempt to prevent the further spread of the Spanish influenza. Earlier in the week, hundreds of new cases had been reported in the North Shore area alone, and similar prevention methods were taking place in other large institutions like Northwestern University when several new cases popped up amidst their student army training corps. A large percentage of the deaths from Spanish influenza were not from the flu itself, however, but from the pneumonia that often followed. To combat this, fresh air and warm but well-ventilated apartments were recommended, as well as extreme caution in regard to sneezing, coughing, and spitting in public areas, which is gross anyway. Things we are all still very well aware of today. And in 1930, Ralph N. Isham, millionaire and aviation enthusiast who sounds like a brilliant book or film character, had one less bill to pay when charges brought against him were dropped by Mr. Evan Spaulding. Spaulding had charged Isham with flying his airplane too low over his property, skimming treetops, and endangering the lives of residents before landing near the Onwensia Club field. Isham had flown up from Chicago to Lake Forest to visit his brother, and after concluding his visit and returning to his plane, found a warrant had been drawn and served. However, whether he had a change of heart or simply didn't want to follow up with the courts downtown, Spaulding decided not to press the case. It was, however, noteworthy for being unique in case type in Lake Forest history. And finally, in 1943, Mr. John E. Baggett celebrated his 80th birthday. For many, many years, the Lake Forest community had celebrated the birthday of Mr. Baggett, but this year was special. Not only was it his 80th, but it also marked his 40th year, half his life as a teacher and counselor to Lake Forest school children, who eventually sent their own children off to be under his guidance. For 33 years, Mr. Baggett served as superintendent of Lake Forest Public Schools and then intendant emeritus for 7. However, unable to completely give up the classroom, he continued teaching art appreciation courses for 8th graders 2 days a week and referred to all his students, past and present, as his family. There you have it. That's This Week in History. Thanks again for tuning in for the 20th episode. The History Center has a lot of new exciting programs coming up for the fall and winter. Be sure to check out our website for that, but it also means that This Week in History will be taking a little bit of a back seat, so be sure to tune in October for This Month in History. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you later.